All right, here we are, hanging out. Mr. John Robert Quinn, the guy who builds talk shows coast to coast, creator of JRQ TV, hanging out with Lamar Simpson, also known as Detective Chase Cooper in the movie High Rise.
Even though you haven't seen us together on these things, we have been doing some things together as well.
Yeah, so it's funny because we do the sheepdog defensive training stuff. We do it for his classes. We also do it for JRQ TV, and a lot of you guys may or may not know that we're in the middle of shooting a movie right now, our first full feature production for JRQ TV. And we've got some amazing actors in this film. Charles D. Clark from the show Empire and House of Cards. Troy Froman from Saved by the Bell, Grey's Anatomy. Chad Ayers from ATL Homicide and Jesse Bell from ATL Homicide. But we've got some...
What would you mention them all before me?
Well, we've got some people that are not in show business. We've got Lamar here, who is playing the good cop. Mm-hmm. We've got Detective Adam Decker, who's played by Steve Adams, founder of National Center for Child Safety and Awareness, and a variety of other people. But we're doing a really cool mobster cop film, and so far everything that he's done has been absolutely fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic.
You're too kind.
To take off the firearms instructor hat and put on the actor hat. It's
different.
Yes, it is.
It's very different.
It's very different, but it's really, really cool. And we're talking about having him do some shootout scenes for the next film. And being a firearms instructor, he's able to do those things and put us in those places and keep us safe and protected. So, very, very exciting. And it's honestly, it's been a pleasure working with
you too. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun, just with everything that we're doing. So today we really want to talk about. We want to keep this episode fun. Okay, we want to talk about the holidays are coming up. We're like, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks from Halloween, which means that Christmas is here. And I think it's more imperative now than ever to protect our families and ourselves with firearms training.
Yes. It's a must. I mean, guys, no one's going to protect you. You're going to protect yourself. So we like to present these things where, yes, they're to protect you. Yes, that's the overlying thing that we're trying to get to. I joked with you that, Black Friday is coming up, Christmas is coming up. People are going to try to assault you while you're shopping. People are getting more and more crazy all the time.
They're getting desperate. Yes, they're getting desperate, and we don't want to really sell on negatives here. But at the same time, we do want to make sure that we are protected. I had some scares recently where I was getting some threats and things, and I had to go through the protocol to protect myself. And of course, the first person I called was Lamar. And, we have to do those things to protect ourselves and our family, especially in growing cities like ours here in Sacramento. So what I really want to talk about today is the holidays and the gift of protection, really. You can take your classes, you can get your CCW, you can just take the firearms instruction, you can take your basic pistol class.
Intermediate, advanced, all this private
lessons. Talk to me about these classes.
So and one of the things that, I'm glad you mentioned this before we started talking, making things fun. You know what? Sure, it's for protection, but honestly, what's really great about classes? These are fun classes. People have a good time. It's something that, doing with I've had a husband and wife do it together. I've had mothers and sons. I've had mothers and daughters.
I did the class, and I brought a bunch of clients with me, and it was great for business.
And everybody had fun together.
We had a blast.
We were all giggling and laughing. Everybody had a great time, and it truly is. To be able to, my family, as you know, they're all shooters. My daughters shoot competitively. Only one shoots trap. Both of them shoot rifle and pistol. They both like archery. We get out to a range and we have a good time. It's a good family bonding time. When you look at it as this is just a good fun thing to have, you can really go out there and have a good time. We don't always have to think about, hey, well, I've got this thing and it can kill somebody. Well, sure it can, but it can also
so can a screwdriver or a hammer or your butter knife.
I could give you a call one day and say, hey, guess what? Let's go out and shoot a little bit at the range. Whoever wins buys lunch, buys beers. You could have fun like that because you're getting that skill level built in.
Do you think that I actually have a chance against you?
No.
I have a good shot.
No. But you have a good shot. No.
I think he just wants free lunch.
There you go. So those are fun things we can do. I mean, and like I said, we're talking about firearms. We're laughing. We're having a good time. It's just a good old fashioned.
If he called me and said, "Hey, let's go shooting," I'd be like, Hey babe, I'm going shooting. She's going, take me with you.
Yep, sure. Well, my wife would say the same, which is good. So this is the kind of, it does build that family and friendship bonding sort of thing when you go out and shoot together. It's just a really good time.
And that's the other thing is that so many people throw such a negative connotation on shooting. Shooting is not a bad thing. It's like saying, oh, well, I'm never going to have money again because money is bad. Well, money can be bad. You could be a criminal with money, or you could be a criminal with a gun.
Yep.
You could be a criminal with a car.
It does not matter.
You could be a criminal with your bare hands. I mean, look at this laundry thing, right? What's his name? Brian Landry or whatever? Yep. I mean, at the end of the day, there's always going to be evil.
Yep.
But the difference is how do you counter that evil? And that's where the safety and the firearms protection.
Well, it's education. Everything is amoral. If I have a brick in my hand, I could go build a house, build a church.
Look at what Kevin McAllister did with the brick.
Right.
I mean, he threw it. It hit Marv right in the face.
Yep. That would be the bad thing, but it was not the brick's fault. It was his fault, right?
The brick's fault.
So we have to stop blaming objects. We have to start blaming education, how we view things.
Correct.
So
in behavior.
In our home, if I lay a gun on the counter, it's like laying a kitchen knife on the counter. Nobody cares. It's a thing.
But the other piece of it, though, is knowing how to lay that gun on the counter. Because I can guarantee you're not laying the gun on the counter fully loaded, cocked, ready to go with your wife sitting down.
Of course not. And that's what we teach you. We teach you, hey, you know what? Here's how we make the firearm safe. Here's how we use it safely. Here's how we... As you know, I treat all things as if they're loaded. I can't even point my finger at you without.
It's funny because in class he'll pull out the mock guns,
the plastic gun,
the plastic guns, to pass around to show you, to teach you the different things. And he, even when he takes that, he has that pointed.
It's a force of habit. So when we do things like that, what that is, that's muscle memory. That becomes, hey, if it looks like, acts like, whatever, like a gun.
Well, it's the same thing when they told us when we were kids, with the scissors. Don't run with scissors and always hand them, with the blade facing you, hand them with the blade facing away from that person, right? It's the same thing with the gun, except, of course, you don't want the gun pointing back. But you get my drift, but yes.
But again, what was that? That was, even though that's a simpler form with scissors, that's training. That's you being taught.
Correct.
This is bad, don't do this, here's the way you do it.
Correct.
So that's what we do in these classes, especially the beginner classes. Like, we're not so much doing that in intermediate and advanced because these people have shot for years and they're just looking to get better.
Yeah, some people,
though,
some people have been shooting for years, they've been shooting wrong for years too, and sometimes you have to retrain people.
I sit with firearms instructors that even though they have guns without pins in them or different things like that, they're sweeping the whole class, and I'm like, that's not something you should be doing.
Ever.
It should be here.
Correct. Yeah.
So I catch people that are supposed to be, as you say, seasoned. They don't do it.
We see it with the motorcycle community as well. It's the same thing. They get what?
They get lazy.
They get lazy. Yeah, well, they get complacent. They get comfortable with their ways, and that is how you make mistakes. When you see a veteran rider getting rear-ended, it's because he was not doing what he was taught to do from day one. Right.
Follow the rules that you've been given, and then we try to get in there. I mean, we get in there and we make sure those universal safety rules are things we talk about. This is how we handle a firearm. This is how we treat a firearm. I mean, as you know, we spent 6 hours in that class. How many hours did we shoot?
About an hour.
About an hour. 5 hours is on teaching you before you ever touch that thing.
Yeah, and it's so funny because when you get in there, it's like, okay, I've never touched one of these before. I've never done this before. And you sit there and you just start processing everything that you were taught. And you're like, okay, so I start with this, and then I go to this, and then I go to this. And as you become more comfortable, you follow that pattern. It's creating the positive and correct patterns.
Right, then they don't become scary anymore.
Talk to me about what's involved in people joining the class. We don't really need to date the next class because there's classes every month.
Yep.
But talk to me about what's involved in joining the class.
So we do have our Facebook page. We do have a website as well, www.sheepdogdefensivetraining.net. We have a scheduling system in there where you can hit, I want a women's class, I want a basic pistol class. You click on that, you can register for the classes if they're open still. Once that's taken care of, you're set on that date. I've had people not come to the class and had to come on a different date. That's completely fine. That's something that we'll honor.
Yeah, I mean, people have lives.
Things happen. So once you log on, you get yourself in that class, I'm going to get an email saying, Robert signed up for the class. At that point, I can reach out to you, give you some more details. let you know. The email's also attached. You can ask questions and say, hey, what do I bring? Those sort of things. Usually we don't have to bring much of anything. We want to make sure we're dressed appropriately. We want to have stuff that goes up to your neck because brass can go down there. We want to have closed-toed shoes because brass hurts.
Can go down there.
Yep. You don't want things like that happening. You have to purchase your own ammo because I'm not a millionaire. So that's one thing that we have. I do have some guns that you can use sometimes. They're also the place where I go. They rent out some firearms.
Correct.
So, but when you go out there, your range fees are paid for. The targets are paid for. We're providing eye and ear protection. And you want to take notes, you can. I still email out things that people request me. Hey, can I have
But you
your
also
card?
have an instructor standing right beside you that, I've seen people that are just afraid to pick up the gun. They're afraid to grab it. I don't know what to do. I don't want to shoot myself. Great. That's what the instructor is for.
Yep.
That's the whole intent of the class, to teach you when you got on a motorcycle for the first time or got into a car for the first time. You were intimidated. You were trying to figure out, okay, well, again, that's where the instructor comes in.
Certainly, we don't just get you. Usually, we get the private range. We don't just say, "Hey, there you go out there. I'll see you in an hour." It's not something that we do.
Good luck.
That would be bad on my insurance, for my instructor insurance for sure. So no, we're standing there right next to you the whole time. We're only shooting usually 5 at a time, so it gives me plenty of room to kind of go up and down. I am a range safety officer, NRA appointed, so I know how to safely handle a range and make sure people don't get hurt. I haven't had anybody lost yet, so I don't think that's going to all of a sudden happen. I have had a gun pointed at me one time
on accident.
On accident by someone. Yes, it was not you. So just
it
was not you. This is after we met. So yeah, before we met. So yes, so those things happen, but we worked through them and we
I did good.
He did really well. He did really well. He didn't point the gun at me. Pointed at the right place. They hit his target really well. It was a pretty good little pattern that you had there. So that worked out really well.
And I was filming half of the time.
Yep. But we see people, and you were there was people that did not maybe shoot as well in the beginning of that class. But by the time we were even done with just that hour, it tightened the group just with a few tips. So and nobody got hurt. You're going to learn a few things. You're going to get better. Maybe that's something that's for you. Maybe you decide you want to join a league. I mean, I coach 3 different shooting sports. The kids have a blast. The adults have a blast. Everybody has a really good time. It's a good community.
What's the class cost?
The class cost for the women's or the basic pistol are $150 per person.
It's a deal.
Yep.
Great holiday gift, Christmas present, birthday present, whatever. Give Lamar a call. How do people get in contact with you?
So people can call me on my cell phone, 916-548-5326. They can email sheepdogdefensivetraining@gmail.com, or they can go straight to our website, www.sheepdogdefensivetraining.net.
.net. And of course, it's on the screen there.
Yep.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching, dude. Boom.
Yep. Another good one. Another one in the books for us.
Another one in the books, and keep an eye out for him on the movie High Rise coming out 2022. Looks like around July 2022 on JRQ TV, and it might be on streaming services like Hulu and Vudu and all that stuff later on down the road. We want it exclusive to JRQ TV, but he's doing a killer job, absolutely phenomenal job, and definitely going to keep him around for the second one, which will be called Ruthless in 2024.
Oh, nice.
So we're already putting pieces together.
Great.
For that. Hey, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.